So Ted, congrats on the Baxters. I really enjoyed what I saw. And while there is a lot of like family drama in the show, what I liked about it was it kind of focuses more on how people can grow from these situations rather than, reveling in, the dirt. It's pretty unique in that aspect. What really interested you about the show?
Thanks, Tyler. It's an astute point. I think you're right. Uh, I have, I have two boys. We've encountered many challenges throughout their lives, and with my wife and I. So I can relate to so much of what is. I've done some faith-based films, and we always sort of typically they avoid this show shows a lot of what's going on in real life. I mean, a lot of the issues, and it shows them happening. A lot of times in some of these films where you don't actually, they just sort of talk about it, you never see it. Here, they're right up front, and I think that is kind of brave in a way for that world. And to your point, when you see people actually going through these things, you actually can sort of move forward and kind of learn from the moment. You're 100% correct, but you have to actually watch someone go through it sometimes. And I do think that's one of the great values of the show. For me, getting ready for it as a dad, um, and a longtime married man and a man of faith, it was sort of a natural interest. And I like the idea that really this is it's a soap opera. Roma Downey calls it a hope opera, and Mark Burnett, her husband, calls it Melrose Place meets the Bible, which I think is kind of funny because it's got all these hot young kids in it, and it's also got the Bible. I mean, it's like nothing I've ever seen or been a part of before.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I haven't seen much drama for your character so far.
Yeah.
How's it been playing the patriarch of the family? Because like your real life as a dad, it has to be tough watching your kids make mistakes, but you do have to live and learn that way. So what's been most interesting about this role in the
Yeah,
show?
there's no avoiding life. It keeps coming at you no matter what. And I could sit with my boys all day long and talk to them about, well, you can't do this and you shouldn't do that and you need to read this. Life comes at you, and you have to learn to build a foundation, and then everyone can work out of there. But the one thing they know inside out is that I'm not going anywhere. My wife isn't going anywhere. We're going to be here forever for you no matter what. And that's a great gift that you can hand off to somebody else. John Baxter, the character, is very much that way. He is a rock. Roma's character, Elizabeth, is more emotional. She's also the center with John, but she's much more of a feeler. John is incredibly centered and makes good, strong decisions. Takes his time, but the one thing you could ask any one of his kids is my dad will always be here for me, and that's a real responsibility as an actor to come in and make sure that that comes across. And I think you're right. Like when I saw the first season, I was like, I wish I was in here a little more. But so I kind of come in more later, but it was an important thing because we had a lot of young kids who were relatively new and hadn't been on a lot of sets. And so my job kind of on set was also the same thing, was, hey, if you have questions, I'm here. Uh, we're going to be here on time. We're going to know our lines, all that stuff. So it carried over into real life on set as well.
That's awesome, and it's such a treat as a viewer to see you and Roma Downey sharing so many scenes together. It's two, TV legends at it. What really stood out about her as a scene partner because you guys have great chemistry.
I love Roma. She is a very good friend. Our families, my wife, her husband, we've been together with dinner and parties, and so we're all very close. But Roma is this beautiful warmth that you can. She radiates kindness and warmth, and when you get within 4 feet, you can be fit. You begin to feel this glow of like this. She draws you in as an actor. You just want to be sitting next to her. It's so cozy. She's really wonderful. She's very generous as an actress. She's generous as a boss. She's wonderful. So and we did have real chemistry. Like we just hit it off, and we were always there for each other on and off the ice. It was very nice.
That's wonderful, and, this kind of blew my mind today, but Revenge of the Nerds is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. So what has it been just to see that film, just continue to how do you kind of feel about its legacy? Because, it's still beloved 40 years later.
I'm very proud of it. I think it has held up. I think what's really interesting is that it actually happened. The nerds took over the world and they won, and they're going to continue to win. I mean, I just think that that's exciting. Uh, when I first started on the film, I was so embarrassed of the title that I wouldn't say it out loud. I was like, yeah, Revenge of the Nerds. After I went to Daly's the first day, we had a big party with pizza and sandwiches and beer. And we sat in this room and they showed the dailies from the first day. And that was the last time I had an issue saying Revenge of the Nerds. I saw right away, it was the scene where the dad is taking the kids to school in the station wagon, or Jamie loads them up and the boys develop that laugh. That was hysterical. And I said, this is going to be, I knew right then, I knew that day it was going to be a hit, and it would be popular and it would work. And it has. And, for years, there'd be a certain point of kids weren't allowed to see it until a certain age, which is right. But once they got to that age, it'd be a whole new audience would rediscover it. And hey, so it was fun.